Today we're going to talk about, let's start out with talking about struggle. Do you find that you have to struggle some in this material world? I mean, it's a struggle, isn't it? You have to struggle sometimes to get yourself out of bed in the morning. And then it's a struggle getting through traffic. Especially if it's raining or something. You know, it's a struggle just to get to the office. Then, sometimes it's a struggle to find a parking place. Once you get there, unless you, all of you are big men here, so you probably have your own assigned space, don't you? You're all important, so you probably have assigned parking places. But maybe not. But then once you get in the office, it's a struggle, isn't it? To make things happen. The nature of the material world is that very often things don't work, isn't it? How many here are in IT? So sometimes the computer doesn't work, right? And you're glad, otherwise they wouldn't need you. So then the phone is ringing and they're saying, oh, we need you right away. You see, so struggle. You have to struggle to keep the computer going. Otherwise, the corporation loses millions. You know? Struggle to deal with management. It's a struggle to get back home. And then you have to struggle through the evening, but it's a little better because you're at home. But it's basically a life of struggle, isn't it? So, that is always going to be there. I don't have any good news for you. I can't tell you, oh, that's going to go away. However, by practice of devotional service, we can learn how to deal with this struggle. You will continue to struggle. The question is, who will you struggle for? Will you struggle for Maya? Or will you struggle for Krishna? Struggle will be there. If you decide to struggle for Krishna, you will bounce out of bed a little easier because you have a purpose other than just going to work. You see? You'll struggle at work, but because you're doing your work as an offering to Krishna, it's a different kind of struggle, isn't it? More of some sweetness to the struggle. Struggling for someone out of love and devotion is entirely different than just struggling just to get by in the world. To keep your job or to get a paycheck. Isn't it? So, the struggle won't go away, but it's aimed in a different direction. I'm struggling to please you, Krishna. Of course, you'll struggle out of love for your families. We have to include Krishna in that family, as part of the family, you see. He is the seed-giving father to this entire cosmic manifestation. He has impregnated the material energy with us, the jivas. You see? So, he is definitely part of our family. So, even though we're caught in these bodies right now, spouses, children, brother, sister, mother, and father, he's also in this family picture now, not just in the bigger scheme of things in the spiritual world. Well, many people can say, well, I can see how God is God the Father. But he's also with you in your family. He's part of your family. Many of you will have him at home on your altar, huh? Do you not have Krishna there? Or maybe at least a picture. So, this struggle for Krishna, if we love Krishna, if we're trying to love Krishna, can actually be much much, much sweeter than just struggling to make it through the day. You see? Love is the magic ingredient. It's just like if you're going to make sweet rice, kheer. You're going to make kheer. And you have farm fresh milk. And you have fresh basmati rice. And you have everything for the perfect kheer. And you leave out one ingredient, sugar. What is it? What do you have when you're finished? It's not so nice. You see? So sugar makes the whole thing work. So likewise, love is the sweetening ingredient in a relationship. Is that right? So all of you love your children. You love your wives, husbands, mother and father. Now, why is that? Is it because you have to? Or is it because there's something about them that makes you love them? Something about them. What is that? What is it that makes you like or feel that you dislike about somebody? Is it the way they look? No. What is it? Think about it. Huh? But what is it, the attractive thing about someone? The thing that makes you love them or attracts you to them. And how does that attachment, how do you start that attachment? Personality. There is a persona, a personality. There's something about that person that you find attractive. Their personality. So how can we define that personality? It's the sum total of the way that a person behaves. It's their attributes. It could be the way they smile at you. It could be their warm handshake. It could be their soothing words, you see. It could be so many things, but this personality is what's attractive. Even you might meet someone who might be very physically attractive, and then when you actually get to know them, you find that their personality is not very attractive, then they're no longer attractive, isn't it? And it can work just the opposite way, you see. So it's personality that you get to know. It's the personality about the person. When you say, if someone says, do you know this PRABHU over here? And you say, yes, I know him. You're saying, I know his personality, or I know her personality. It's not that I know what they do for a living, and I know what kind of house they live in, or what kind of car they drive. I know him personally. So, we can have a relationship with one another on a personal basis once we get to know each other. Does that make any sense? The same is true with God. How can you love Krishna? How can you say you love Krishna if you don't know him? Is it possible? No. You may say, well, I think I know enough about him. I hear about some of his pastimes. But do you know enough? Can you fully know Krishna? Can you? This is a trick question. Do you think you can fully know Krishna? Huh? You think yes? And you think yes. And who says no? Okay. Who says yes? Put your hands up. All right, so almost a tie. This is a good question to ponder, is can you fully know him? Let's find out what he says. So you don't need to just depend on my opinion. We can take his opinion. Actually, there's a chapter in Bhagavad Gita. Seventh chapter. What's the name of the seventh chapter? Knowledge of the Absolute. So there is knowledge available. But the question is, can you know him in full? What does he say? Let's hear what he says. Don't take my opinion. I have no opinion of my own. All I have is my guru's opinion, and all he has is his guru's opinion, all the way back to Krishna. So Krishna says, in the first verse of the seventh chapter, Krishna says, excuse me, Sri Bhagavan Vacha Mayashtaktamana Parta Yogam Yunjamarashraya Ashamshayam Samakramam Yatta Jagyasitas Triyu. So who's going to argue with that? Oh, well, you want me to interpret it, right? The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, now hear, O son of Prita, how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt. So, what does Krishna say? Yes, you can. Let me read it again. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, now hear, touch Triyu. Now hear. O son of Prita, Arjuna, how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt. So, Krishna wants you to know him in full, doesn't he? Is it a little scary, though, when you think about it, to know God in full? It can be a little scary to some people. I mean, he's pretty powerful. What if I displease him? You see? Some religions teach that if you displease God, he'll turn you into a pillar of salt. Or maybe just burn you up right now. You see? So, but Krishna wants you to know him in full. So in other words, he's wanting you to know you have no fear. You can be free from doubt. What do we fear? We fear things that are unknown, isn't it? The biggest fear is fear of the unknown. If you know what's going to happen to you, you can at least calculate, even if it's not a positive thing that's going to happen to you. You can calculate how to deal with it. But if you don't know, that gives you great anxiety. So if we don't know this God, then how do we know how to please him? So how do we get to know him? He says by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me. Does this mean that we join a yoga salon and we go once a week? And or do the cobra or the warrior? And if we do that, is that what he's talking about? What if we're practicing perfect asana? What if we perfect our breathing? Is this what he's talking about? I don't think so. What's the yoga that he's talking about? What does he mean here? He means bhakti yoga, devotional service. You see? Because through performing devotional service and performing devotional service only can we become attached. And the object is to become attached to Krishna. In the beginning, there is some attraction. We perform devotional service, and there's some attraction. After time, we become attached. Now, when we become attached, that's it. We're attached. That there's no unattaching, you see. It's not a mundane type of relationship. Once we get Krishna back, and Krishna belongs to you, he is yours. Temporarily, you have lost him in consciousness due to a malfunction of your consciousness. It's like the IT professionals, where you can understand. Sometimes the computer is like a brain, isn't it? Sometimes it malfunctions. Could it happen? Could the wrong information get into, like some sort of a virus that causes the computer system to malfunction and do something entirely different? Is that possible? So this is what's happened to our brains, to our consciousness. It's been invaded by a virus. And what's that virus? I don't need Krishna. I don't need God. I want to do without God. I want to be away from him. And I want to do what I want to do. You see, it's the virus. It's a defect. It causes your consciousness to malfunction improperly. I'm wanting something that is actually very bad for me. Out of maybe enviousness, lust, greed, whatever. As Prabhupada said, it doesn't matter why you have come to this material world. It doesn't matter, because from time to time we would ask Prabhupada, how did we come here? Why did we leave Krishna? That doesn't matter so much as how do I get back to Krishna? You see? So this knowledge of Krishna isn't something new. It's something that we all have. We know Krishna. And if we can get our consciousness to function properly, we will regain our attachment to Krishna. Does that make any sense? We will again pursue him by practicing yoga in full consciousness of him, meaning that I will perform loving devotional service to Krishna. So, how do we do that? Can you just do it? Huh? Yeah. But how do you know you do the right sadhana? So I accept spiritual authority. Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. I need to find a guru that will instruct me, get me on the right path. Sadhu, I need the association of devotees. And Shastra, I need to study. Mataji was talking about Tamal Krishna Maharaj today. Are all of you familiar with Tamal Krishna Maharaj? Do you know who I'm talking about? I spent a lot of time with him. We were talking about him on the way up from Tucson. I don't know how, but he got on my mind. We were very close for a long time. But what he would have done if he had asked me, can we know Krishna in full? And if I had said, well, I would have thought, well, can anybody know God in full? I would have said no. And you know what he would have said? You say that because you're not reading Prabhupada's books properly. The answer is right there. Obviously, Jivananda, you never got to the 7th chapter because the very first verse in the 7th chapter says that you can. Now that's what he would have said to me. And I would have said, yes, Maharaj. He would say that in love because he wanted me to know, you see. So by Shastra, Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, you find a Guru, what does the Guru say? Associate with sadhus, associate with saintly persons. Study the Shastra in the association of saintly persons. Don't go it on your own. Don't speculate. Take the mercy of Krishna. How does Krishna show his mercy? If you're sincere and you say, oh, my dear Lord Krishna, I want you. I want to know you. I want to have you. How does Krishna respond? He gives you what? You're wanting Krishna. Huh? He gives you Guru. Is that cheating? But Krishna, I asked you for you. I want you, but you gave me Guru. Is that cheating? Because when he gives you the Guru gives you Krishna. Why is it like that? Because if it's not like that, I'll have a tendency to speculate. And I won't know. How do you know if the people that you're associating with are sadhus? There's only one answer. If my Guru says they are. How do I know I'm studying the right Shastra? Because the sadhus that my Guru said to associate with, that's what they study. So between Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, I get knowledge of Krishna. Through loving devotional service, I get Krishna. Does that make any sense? You actually get Krishna. You actually can possess Krishna. Krishna wants to become yours. Some people think, well, which is correct? Are you Krishna's or is Krishna yours? They're both right. They're both right. Some of the gopis say, I am Krishna's. And some of the gopis say, Krishna is mine. Which one is better? You can see the nature of love, you see. So we should want that. We should want to possess Krishna. Krishna says in Upadeshamrita Sindhu that for one who performs loving devotional service, it is as if he's purchased me. I become yours. You own me. I'm yours. I don't know if you want that much Krishna, do you? I mean, do you want him that bad? Or is once a week enough? Maybe we should leave him here. And then we get Krishna when I want to drive over to the mandir. I go to the mandir, Krishna is there, pranams, make some offering, and then back home. Leave him here. That's pious. But you can have him all the time. He can be at home with you, come with you to the mandir, and you can both see Krishna. Why wouldn't he want to come to see himself? He's the most beautiful. So Krishna will come, he will be with you all the time. Krishna is with you all the time. As Paramatma. You are the Atma living here. And Paramatma, Krishna, he's right next to you. It's like two birds on the branch of the tree. So you're not separated, just in your consciousness. Does that make any sense? You've lost your consciousness of your relationship with Krishna, which is eternal. Now, eternity goes in all directions. It doesn't just go forward. People in the material world think that because we're contaminated with the consciousness of materialism, we think of time as being something that applies to us, the soul. But time does not apply to the soul. It applies to the material world. You see, you are eternal. Time applies to the material world in that everything behind time is gone. And then there's a future that hasn't come through time. But everything that comes through this present moment gets devoured and disappears. Where's the past? Where is your past? You can only try to remember it, or try to envision it. When you were a child, it's gone. As you get older, you'll realize it is really gone. So, but you, the eternal soul, time does not apply to you because you're eternal. Meaning that you always have been, you always have existed, and you always will exist. You have no expiration date. You know, like the stuff you get at the store that says, best if used by October 1st. You don't have an expiration date. You will not expire. Well, you'll have to leave these bodies sooner or later. You'll have to leave them. And then go on to your next adventure, you see. But you will not expire. Neither will your relationship with Krishna. As you have always existed, so has Krishna and your relationship with him. And it's always been a sweet, loving relationship. Now, you may not remember it, but it always has been. Why do you think he came with you? Why do you think that he's come along with you as Paramatma? Because he loves you. He is attached. He's attached to you. We have lost consciousness. We have been rebellious. I will go do my own thing. I will go enjoy without you. And then we get a little pious. And we say, oh, well, I think about you when I need something. You know, give me daily bread. Give me a promotion at work. Give me intelligent children. So I'll think about you when I've got my hand out. Hey, Krishna, I need something. Where are you? Oh, there you go. Hey, I thought maybe you could help me out with, there's a promotion. There's a spot available at work, and I'd really like to have it. And I'll tell you what, if you'll give it to me, I'll give you some of the money. I'll throw a little extra in the money if you'll help me get this. That's pious. There's nothing wrong with it. That's pious. But love is when you turn to Krishna and say, my dear Lord, you have always, for eternity, you have given. You've shown your love. You have proven your love for eternity because here I am. I exist because of your love. And I just want to know, what can I do for you? I want to do for you. That is called bhakti. That is the yoga that Krishna is talking about. If you get that feeling, if you could practice that bhakti in full consciousness, that I'm doing this, my dear Krishna, for your gratification, not for mine. I want nothing in exchange. I want to make you happy. You see. Then Krishna says that the prize for that as you get to know Him in full. Now that's pretty nice, isn't it? That's pretty sweet. Through this devotional service, you get to own Krishna. So what do I get if I get Krishna? Do I have to set another plate at the table? If I get Krishna, do we have to move to a bigger house so we'll have a room of his own? Well, what do I get? What's in it for me if I get Krishna? What do I get? I get everything. Everything is Krishna. Everything comes from Krishna. Why, even the concept of wealth comes from Krishna. He's the source of everything. If you have everything imaginable, and even a lot that you can't even imagine, how could you possibly want anything? All your desires are fulfilled. The minute that you please Krishna, all your desires are fulfilled. You want nothing. So what's the beginning? Where do we start? Does anybody here really want Krishna? Show me. Maybe not today, but later. So if you want him, where do we start? Are you wondering that? What's the first step? Because if I get him, life is going to change big time, isn't it? Big time. Huge change. Now I have everything. I have more than I ever possibly wondered about. More than I even ever thought that I could get. I have my dearly beloved Krishna, and he's mine. Wouldn't you like to go tell your neighbors? Your friends at work, when you go to work? Hey, did you have a nice weekend? Yeah, I got something really important this weekend. Oh, what did you get? I got Krishna. You what? I got Krishna. Really? Well, you can have him too. We can all have him. I mean, really, this isn't fantasy. You can have it. And you'll probably want to let people know, I have Krishna. He's mine. So how do we start? How do we capture it? Hmm? He gives us a clue in this verse. Touch him. First you have to hear. And you're hearing. You have to hear from a bona fide source. Bhagavad Gita itself. Krishna says, now hear. First, hear. Shravana. So, what comes after Shravana? Kirtan. What is this? This is chanting. What did I hear that made me want to chant? The devotee said, chant. He said, Haribol. What does Haribol mean? Bol means chant. Hari, chant Hari. Chant the names of God. When someone says Haribol to me, I always say Hare Krishna. You know, Prabhupada didn't say Haribol. You know that? Prabhupada said what? Hare Krishna. Sometimes people would say Haribol to Krishna. Prabhupada would say, don't say Haribol. Do Haribol. So if someone brings it up, Haribol, okay, Hare Krishna. So it starts when someone tells you. The proper hearing is chant Hare Krishna. So we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, so is that enough? I did it. So where's my Krishna? Do I have to do it again? So,
Smart.
yeah, smart. Remembering. But how much do I chant? It's like it's like you go to the store to buy something. You say, how much is that? And the guy says, $50. Okay, here's your $50. Now you don't get any more. I take it. $50 and it's mine. So how much is the right amount to purchase Krishna with your chanting? Huh?
We might chant always.
Chant always, yeah. You don't have to stop. And if you get to a point where you can't be chanting through your mouth, you can chant in your mind. It's very pleasant. You can hear some nice kirtan in your mind. If you don't, you'll hear some other nonsense. So, but the prescribed amount of chanting is basically whatever your guru tells you. Guru says, chant 16 rounds a day. Oh, no, I can't do that. Oh. Now you're asking me to struggle. But you're already struggling. But so much I'm struggling for so many things. Well, now, would you struggle for Krishna? Will you? You're going to struggle. So, can you struggle enough to work it into your day, to chant? Enough to please the Guru, to the point that the Guru says, ah, now you are ready to be my disciple. Oh, very good. Is it even worth it? Is it? Why not just chant a little bit and kind of dabble in it? Won't that work? I mean, that's good, isn't it? It's good. But it's not first class. Some people will always follow through whatever endeavor that they take up. They finish it. They get all they can from it, you see. Does that make any sense? Finish it. Find a guru, say, how many rounds do I have to chant? He says 16. And then you go, oh, okay. And then you do it. You may start out with 4. You struggle to get 4 done. Then later on, you get to where you struggle to get 6, then 8. Daily. And you know you can do it. Because it doesn't take 24 hours to chant 16 rounds. It doesn't. You can do it. When you chant very slowly. Krishna. No, you could do it. I could see if you chant slowly, you could do it. So, but maybe that's it. Maybe you have to chant a little quicker. Maybe you have to split it up, 4 rounds here. Prabhupada, he said, when he was in business, he would chant 4 rounds before breakfast, 4 rounds before lunch, 4 rounds before evening meal, 4 rounds before bedtime. Piece of cake. So the answer is, yes, you can do it. It's like I tell people, I learned this when I was in Texas. The Texans, they've got some very blunt ways of putting things. And if you tell a Texan something that he already knows the truth about, You'll say, boy, this ain't my first rodeo. So this isn't my first rodeo. I know you can do it. I know you can do it. Question is, will you? So, will you struggle to do it? To chant more and more. Because through this chanting, you will get the reward of what you're requesting from Krishna. My dear Lord, Hara, Radha, energy of the Lord, my dear Lord, please engage me in your loving devotional service. If you struggle to chant 16 rounds a day, praying to Krishna, please give me devotional service, then he will answer your prayer. Then you become engaged in loving devotional service. And everything in your life will line up. Everything will become perfect. Your life may not become easier at the office, but it will seem like it is. Because now you have confidence. You have Krishna. If you have Krishna, if you're conscious of Krishna, or Krishna conscious, then you have incredible confidence. When I was in business, I used to have people tell me that all the time. They wanted to know if I listened to Zig Ziglar or who did I listen to get this confidence? I had unbreakable confidence. And many people feel like confidence means there's room for a little bit of doubt. But I felt like confidence means there is no doubt this is going to happen. That's an unstoppable force. Let's see. And it comes from the confidence of being a devotee of Krishna. It comes from the confidence of being under the shelter and guidance of my guru, of the sadhus, and well versed in the Shastra. You walk out the door knowing that there is no challenge too great, because I have Krishna, and no challenge is too great for him. Does this make any sense? This isn't a trip to Disney World. This isn't fantasy. This is fact. Absolute fact. So I'm going to pause here now because we need to finish up by 6:30. And are there any questions or comments? I usually get some good comments when I come to Phoenix. So, questions, comments, criticism, chastisements?
Can a soul exist without a super soul? If yes, how it will be?
No. You could not exist without Krishna. It's just like if we unplug this microphone from the wall, it's dead. It's useless. It's not even a microphone anymore. You can use it for a club, but it doesn't work. It's like, can your finger exist if you cut it off? It starts to dwindle. So it's not even possible for you to be separate from Krishna. You can only be separate from Krishna in your consciousness. Does that make any sense? So we're not gaining anything except our lost consciousness of Paramatma and Krishna. You see? So no. The jiva cannot exist without the Paramatma. If that were even possible, it is not possible for you to exist. Does that answer your question? Yes.
How to remember Krishna in the dreams also? If you want to remember how.
Say again?
How to remember Krishna in the dream? Because in the daytime we do something and we remember Krishna.
In the dream. In a dream. Yeah.
How to remember and what are the best ways to make it up?
Sometimes people want to remember Krishna. They'd like to remember Krishna in a dream. But yet, I don't have time to chant 16 rounds a day, to take bona fide guru, to take up bona fide devotional service. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for this. I'm going to do so many things through the day, but yet at night, Krishna, please come into my dreams. So, Krishna is free to come or go as he wants. So if I'm chanting and serving, engaged, sometimes I can remember, well, especially in the older days, when we were working to forge the movement, to make the movement happen. Sometimes we would go to bed at night and we'd be so tired that you close your eyes, but you can't forget your service. What I was doing today, what I accomplished, what I didn't accomplish, and for sure what I have to try to accomplish tomorrow is offering to Guru and Krishna. And then through all that, we finally drift off, and sometimes dreams of Krishna. You see, we can't induce these. It would be nice to, wouldn't it? If there was some herb or some potion that you could take that makes you dream of Krishna, that would be nice. But actually this devotion, this bhakti yoga, if we're performing bhakti yoga, it'll cause us to be conscious of Krishna. Remember, the ultimate goal is to get to know him in full. He's saying you can. Wow. You can. You can know me in full. Now, is the price too high to know him in full? Practicing bhakti yoga in full consciousness of him, is that too much? You know, sometimes you may look at some really nice motor car and you think, oh, I really want that. But when they tell you the price, you say, oh, I can't. So we have to decide, is Krishna too expensive? He says, I can own him. I can know him in full. But I've got to practice yoga in full consciousness of him, devotional service in full consciousness. With my mind attached to him. Gee whiz, is that too much? Maybe we can negotiate. How about if I perform some service? Maybe it's not so devotional. Can I get to know you in full then, Krishna? You know, like you talk with a car salesman. You negotiate the price down. You know, maybe. But the price isn't too high. Krishna is saying, serve me in devotional service. Don't concoct. Find a spiritual authority that will direct you on how to serve me properly. And if you do that with your mind attached to me, then you'll know me in full. You see? Does that make any sense? Good question. I always get such good questions here. You have questions?
I have a basic one. What do you mean by knowing in full? What is full?
Knowing in full. You know. Why should he keep any secrets from you? Why would he? What does he have to fear? If I demonstrate to Krishna that I'm sold out, that I am bonded to him in love, why would he keep secrets from me? You see? It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to become as powerful or that I'm going to know how to create this manifestation, but I know him in full. The more you know him, the more you love him. First of all, the more you love him, the more you get to know him. And then the more you know him, the more you love him. There is nothing about Krishna that's not absolutely lovable. You see? There isn't anything that you're going to find about Krishna that's going to make you say, what? Oh, forget it. No, I don't want to be your friend anymore. It's not there. You see? So, he has nothing to fear. God, what is he afraid of? Nothing. Death fears him. What is that? Mrityu. Lord Sringadev, Mrityu. The death of death. Death is afraid. Do you need to fear evil? If you're a devotee of Krishna? If you are a really good devotee of Krishna, evil fears you because you have Krishna. It's like if you have a big brother and he's real tough and he has a really big gun. Nobody's going to mess with you, right? But what if you have God? Evil will fear you. You are connected with Krishna. So, okay, according to the clock on the wall, it's time for me to wrap it up. Thank you all so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.